We are primarily a software engineering service provider based out of the city of Kochi. The company was founded in 2005, about 15 years ago, when I returned back from the US after a 10 years tenure working in various companies in the US and the Middle East. So my background is also into computer science, primarily into programming, managing databases, solutions architecture, and then returned back to India to be with family and home, and started Naico. So we are primarily into enterprise application development services, then geospatial, which is essentially map-based development services, and then product development, essentially physical electronic gadgets and product development, including the hardware design, firmware, and related software development. And vast majority of our clients are from the US and Canada, and maybe about 10% of our clients are from the other areas of the world.
This is Nazeer. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Naico ITS. I've been playing this role for the last 3 plus almost 4 years. I'm overall with 25 plus years of industry experience.
As most companies in India and across the world have gone through the challenges of COVID-19 and everything else that actually has changed across the world, we were also impacted as a company. Primarily, that we were in a fast growth mode that we've been executing over the last year and a half, and that's when COVID happened and the lockdown began and so forth. So that's the time we were looking around to see, what other companies do to tackle these challenges. And so that's when I was working with the TIE, the Indus Entrepreneurs Organization, discussing about different ways of tackling these issues, and I got a communication introducing Wadhwani Foundation. And initially I was a bit skeptical, obviously about an organization stepping into our company and helping us through some of the challenges that we are facing. But I thought I should give it a try, and I said, Ty, I would like to have a call, and one of the consultants from Wadhwani Foundation reached out to us. To be specific, it was Dhruvan, actually, who turned out to be a great friend as well. And then over the next week or so, we have had multiple calls, and we got a detailed overview of what Wadhwani Foundation does and how the programs work. And from there, a much longer relationship has begun. If we think about the different problems that the companies have been facing during the COVID-19 situation, I would categorize that into three, primarily from a information technology services business perspective. The first category of issues come with all of a sudden, all the employees of the company are going to be working from home. And so that completely changes the way we were operating, especially software companies. They do a lot of collaboration. For example, our day starts with a 10-minute stand-up meeting with the whole team, or the teams of each project actually finds a corner in the office, and they talk about what has happened last day and what they are planning to do today, and various issues that has happened. And it's highly collaborative. And so all of a sudden, when all of our team members are moved into moved away, and so it's not as easy as before to collaborate. So that posed a major challenge. That posed a challenge in the sense that when we start a new project, how do we rework our processes? How do we make sure our team members are happy? The stress levels across the industry, if you look around, have gone up And so that was one of the concerns, and that's one of the core areas that you would notice across the industry. The second primarily is working capital and the other financial impact that actually happens to companies, because fund flows may get slowed down, and luckily we were not as impacted as many of the companies. And the third aspect is that a lot of the software companies actually do their business development by traveling to the countries that they are doing business with. And so all of a sudden those travels were completely blocked. And so how do you shift your focus in the way that you were actually generating business into new models, so that you can continue to bring in new business? And so those were the three core areas of issues that we actually had to tackle. The employee-related or HR-related challenges caused by COVID happened to be one of the biggest things or highest priority areas that we actually wanted to address, primarily because we were actually on a high growth mode, and we actually have had about 30 to 40% increase in our strength over the 2 to 3 months just before COVID. So we had a lot of new team members into the team, and we had some of the new projects getting started up. So there's a lot of flex in the company. And now as we move into a work from home mode, and the team bonding hasn't really happened for the new team members. And so we actually wanted to make sure we take the right steps and we have a mechanism for receiving input from our team and be able to identify the issues which we are not really used to in the new context, and identify those issues and get input on how those issues can be tackled with some expert advice and consultancy. So that's where we thought we could get some help from Wadhwani Foundation.
First of all, I would like to thank Wadhwani Group for including Naiko as a part of their Sahayata program. When we were equally facing challenges and problems, just like other IT organizations as part of during the pandemic COVID. I think the consultants from the Wadhwani Group has done a wonderful job in identifying and understanding our problems, more specifically in our human resource part of the organization. The team, the specific consultants were, very eager and very deep in terms of understanding the organizations by going through multiple methods of interactions, primarily, going through walking through all our policies, group discussions at various levels. They have a formed team based on the hierarchy within organizations, and form teams, and then have separate interaction with each of those groups, dedicated interviews with specific people, auditing our records, and etc. Doing this for a period of 3 to 4 months time frame as part of this engagement, the consultants could get the depth and breadth of the organizations across key areas like HR. When we talk about HR, it's HR as a functions, our organization policies, our employee engagement initiatives, activities, practice, and processes, the induction programs, right? How do we reward and recognize our associates, compensations, and more importantly, how are we, making our associate comfortable on our day-to-day project activities. As part of this, extensive involvement and engaging with our team for a period of 3 to 4 months, the consultants has come up with a very comprehensive report, covering all aspects of the kind of challenges we are facing in our HR as a overall domain and employee engagement as a function is concerned. There are many eye-opening our very candid feedback in terms of some of the areas which I would like to list specifically below. The first one is definitely the fine tuning, or the clarity, or the crisp and clear communication in terms of our policies and processes. This particular exercise has helped us to really go back and relook at all our processes to be more polished. This exercise realized us that there are a lot of other things happening across other industries which we are not being formally, or unfortunately we're not able to bring into our system. This exercise, the consultants are having wide experience across multiple industries and help us to bring some of the new policies which are not there before, as well as helping us to define it and come up with a draft policies and procedures. These consultants really helped us to define a way of a survey. I mean, we do conduct yearly survey, but beyond that, there's a quarterly pulse survey framework is being introduced and defined, and it's been instrumental in terms of working with us to have the framework ready and installed, and now we are about to get start our first pulse survey by this quarter. Definitely, I never realized that an organization like don't have much experience or exposure in IT industry can come and make a difference in Naico as part of this initiative. So what it is telling me that it is very important and it is very crucial for organization like Naico, where it is small and then going towards medium and then large with a very ambitious growth plan. Definitely need a third eye, where they have wide experiences in terms of experience across various industry, having visibility in different organizations at different levels, right? They will have, they can help you definitely, make the organization's foundation more strong, right? And they can make it more scalable and more reliable, so that when we build or when we make our organizations medium to large, you can still sail through without much challenges or problems.
One thing that I continue to be really amazed and taken aback is how sincerely the Wadhwani Foundation team has been addressing the issues. I really thought when the whole engagement began, I really thought it's going to be a short session, the typical answers that we would hear. But the way the issues were being listened to and addressed, like that being the case of Driven and then Jaya, I couldn't really believe people would spend that kind of time and give interest to somebody else's problem. And the way that they are still continuing to take it forward, and the level of persuasion that's happening and the follow-ups that's happening, it's amazing. There were points where Nazeer and I stopped and asked, would there be a paid service at some point? Because it sounds so good to be true. I have a lot of appreciation and respect for what you do. Your organization as a whole, and each of you as individuals, and what you contribute to this country and to the business ecosystem, and in turn, all the employment and everything else that actually comes out of it. I'm quite impressed, and I have a lot of appreciation for that.